what's going on in your world?
Just prepping for the land summit, so getting all the speakers up on the website and getting the talk titles and schedule straightened out and the workshops and farm tours, so kind of making sure all that's buttoned up so that we have the information available for folks who want to see what all the talks will be about and what they're getting themselves into for this year's land summit, since we're kind of approaching it from a lens of can we talk about the theme, or do you think it's too soon?
Let's save the theme for like some big reveal.
Okay.
All right, well, why don't you break down what we got going here on the website so we can introduce it to people when it's going on and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Okay, so there's some videos from last year's Land Summit on the website, which I think they do a really good job reflecting the energetics of the experience and how beautiful the immersive farm tours are and what it's like to see these communities and also regenerative farming operations firsthand. So if you want to get a feel for what you're getting yourself into, I would definitely encourage you to watch the video that's on the website.
Should we watch it now?
Sure. Yeah, this one's quick too. This is just a minute long, this promo video. There's another one that's like 6 minutes long, so let's not play that one. But folks can watch that on their own time, and it's also on John's YouTube channel.
All right, let's hit it. The entire system, government, mega corporations, the media is basically a big fraud. After COVID, this pandemic, a lot of people woke up. They pushed too hard and caused a lot of people to start questioning the status quo. We decided, let's put together an event, bring together people that want to homestead, that want to build community, but don't know how or don't believe in their ability to do so.
We have the hippies and the lefties, and then we have the Ron Paul libertarians and the Rothbardian and the anarchists.
This homesteading, regenerative agriculture, permaculture, living together, buying land cooperatively, that is the new path forward.
It's brought together people from all walks of life, and that's what's so beautiful, is that when you come together for a purpose like this, it unites everyone rather than divides everyone.
Don't just oppose something, rather stand for something.
The Exit and Build Land Summit has been awesome, and I would say to anybody out there who's considering doing this next year, do it. You won't be disappointed.
Oh, there we go.
Were you muted the whole time?
I was muted.
That's awesome.
I always have a habit of doing that.
We were just testing it.
We were making sure you were paying attention there, Mr. John White. Real quick, John White brings up a good point. And he's saying, like, apparently his feed bill is $7,000 per month, so he must have a serious livestock operation going.
Wow.
So kudos to you, Mr. White. And that's another, like, a money mindset thing. Someone says, like, my livestock bill is $7,000. It's so high, it's too much. But I'm like, wow, that means you're really making stuff happen if you got to spend that much money on food for, I assume you say feed bill. I hope your grocery bill isn't that high every month. But John's saying, like, risk is fine. It depends on what you see has real value. And so I'm totally with you. Like, you'll see me pumping Bitcoin. I have no shame about wanting to make money and be wealthy and have financial riches. But really, where the rubber meets the road, what's most valuable, we believe, is having a piece of land under your feet, having the ability to provide for yourself, food, energy, and then most importantly, above all else, what I think is going to really pay dividends, especially if crap hits the fan, is having a community of people that have your back. That supersedes by far more valuable than Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or gold or silver.
I was trying to scroll up because I thought I saw, because I was watching before I hopped on.
You're my biggest fan?
Was, okay, John White was saying that it's actually important too to really invest in like food and having water and things, because
For sure.
like even these last 2 weeks, there's been 2 instances where like major communication have failed, like with the cell phone stuff that went down last week, and then like there was a Facebook outage yesterday, and like some people really use Messenger like for texting and stuff. So just like with everything happening in the world right now, it seems like, you know, it's great to learn about Bitcoin, and I'm all for it for a long term, you know, holding it like gold and everything. But kind of shifting gears to buying land and building community, there's a very urgent need to learn about these alternatives, like becoming self-sufficient and getting to the country and finding and connecting with folks who you can, you know, live in community with, who kind of help share the burden of homesteading, because it's hard to do this. I mean, we've been on our homestead now for over 2 years, and it's nice putting on the Exit and Build Land Summit because I'm learning too when we go. I mean, we're not experts in farming. We aren't great at farming, you know, but we're learning.
We just pretend to be experts on YouTube.
Well, so we have a pecan orchard, we have beehives, we have how many wicking beds? Like 14?
12 or 14.
And then we have our tower gardens, of course. But and we have our chicken coop, but there's a lot more we could be doing. And, you know, it's a lot of responsibility. Even this morning, I'm like in the chicken coop cleaning up their poop and like trying to make sure their feed is a lot of work. Not getting all over the place, because we bought this like powdery kind on accident instead of the pellets. And, you know, like there's a lot of things that happen on the land that are hard to juggle on your own. So anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because it is really important, like that comment was saying, that we are finding people to do this with, because, you know, at the event you have a chance to network, you have a chance to meet people. It's not just sitting in a conference room and hearing talks. I mean, presentations are great, and I think we all get a lot out of that. But more important than anything, I think in this time is finding folks to do this with. And so that's what I think is really exciting about the Exit and Build Land Summit, is that you have a chance to literally be in the same room with 500 other freedom-loving homesteading enthusiasts who are completely on the same page as you. And the funny thing too is like Ryan's been calling folks who did attend the Land Summit the last few years. This is the 4th one we've put on, and I'm like overhearing these phone calls where they're like, "Oh yeah, I went to the Land Summit and I ended up buying land, and now I'm so busy like getting my garden set up and this and this." And so it's cool to see how many people who went to the event who maybe were trying to figure out what to do or who to do it with or where to even buy land and how to, you know, start this process of getting out of the city and living a more self-sufficient life, who have actually taken that leap and have used this information to acquire property, to start growing food, and to find people to move onto the property with them. And I think that is kind of says a lot in and of itself, like how important it is to just have that accelerator of like getting all the information, feeling confident, getting in that right mindset, finding other people to jam with, maybe meeting the realtor who's going to help you find the property or whatever it is in the process where you're at. But yeah, so for this year's Exit and Build Land Summit, we are going to be visiting different farms for 2 of the days. So people always get confused too. They're like, oh, why does it say May 16th through the 20th here, but then it says May 17th through the 19th here? So we have farm tours, which are optional the day before and the day after. If you can do it, if your schedule permits, I would definitely encourage you, because I got to go on the farm tour last year in Kingsbury. It's hard as the event organizer to sneak away, but I wanted to experience this, and I felt like it was really important to go and to, you know, get that experience and film and see from the attendee perspective how important these farm tours are. So I was able to go, and we went to you know, the pecan orchard with Troy Swift with Swift River Pecans. That was out in Kingsbury last year. And just seeing like different properties is really inspiring. Like in the morning we went to Habitable Spaces, which was also in Kingsbury, and seeing like how they built out the multiple structures on their property and how they've invited various individuals to live on the property with them to help steward the land, and the hugelkultur mounds and the little permaculture zones, and how their compost system set up, how deep they had to dig their well and like get the water access, and like little things like this that you have to really think about, and seeing like how they set up their workshop space. Like it helps to get the creative juices flowing and also feel like, wow, if they did this, then I can go do this too. So this year we will be doing local farm tours in Bastrop. So this is going to be, 20 minutes away from the convention center, 45 minutes away from the convention center, depending on which farm. So folks can, carpool, drive, go see these different farms, have a nice local experience before the 3-day conference kicks off, which will be Friday, 9 a.m. And if you can't come in person, we do have a live stream for the conference portion, not necessarily for the farm tour portion, although that would be cool. But the live stream will also be going on. So this is free. Like, we want people to have this information. We want people to feel inspired. And so we'll have the live stream going at 9 a.m. on Friday, May 17th. And of course, the most impactful way to experience is in person. We serve awesome farm to table meals for lunch. Chef Ray, we source all the goods from these various farm tours that we're on. That's where he's getting these ingredients, so it's really cool to eat food from the farms that you had just visited the day before. And then we'll have presentations and talks. We do a kick-ass concert Friday night. This is going to be
not just a concert, a kick-ass concert.
Yeah, and last year too, we did a little networking beforehand, very light, hey, come up, speed dating, introduce yourself, what your project is, what you're looking for, just quick, less than an hour, so folks can kind of put their project out there. And then while the music's going on, you can go connect with people in the crowd. Hey, I heard that you were doing this in Fredericksburg, or oh, I heard that you were looking for land in Texas and you're not there yet, but you were wanting to move here. Well, I have a property and I'm looking for people to join. So if you need somewhere to park your RV for a month until you figure out your long-term plan, come out to my property. So that's always nice to have an opportunity to just kick back, relax, drink a beer, listen to some music, connect with attendees. And then Saturday, we'll have presentations primarily about food production and growing food and what all that entails, as well as buying property. And the community matchmaking is also kind of like speed dating, but a little bit more structured. And so we'll have that in person as well. There is going to be a pretty extensive workshop breakdown as well on Sunday. And we're excited to have our keynote speaker on Sunday. Joel Salatin will be there in person.
Woo!
So that's really exciting.
Joel is great. Yeah, so folks, the tickets are on sale right now. It's early bird special if you're watching this before March 8th at midnight. So that's Friday in just about 2 days. You'll be able to get $297 a ticket. It's the lowest price. It'll be going up, and ultimately the retail price is $397. There's also a VIP ticket that you can get.
Yeah, actually, almost the VIP tickets are sold out. Those are really popular. Because we do also, I should have mentioned, we have a VIP dinner where you get to mingle with all the speakers, some of the organizers behind the scenes. And that's also a farm to table meal. It's like a sunset meal. We have live music. And also VIPs get front row seats for the whole event, as well as access to the VIP lounge, which is really cool because it's behind stage. And again, you can mingle and connect with the speakers and have that opportunity to I don't know what you're pointing at.
Sorry, I'm trying to do stuff behind the scenes. I have a Becca cam now.
Yeah, so I was surprised. Actually, the VIP tickets are almost sold out. But so if you do want to be a VIP, that would be good to secure your spot now. But we do have general admission tickets. And like John was saying, it's ideal for you if you want to save a few dollars to buy it before the early bird ends, which, we are approaching. And then I didn't get to say this yet, so I'm just going to, so I don't forget. We actually have a really cool opportunity for folks who attend in person to see a very large-scale farming operation from a renowned chef. Her name's Molly Engelhart, and her farm is called Sovereignty Ranch. Some of you may have heard of Sovereignty Ranch from the event called Confluence, which also they are doing another Eclipse event in April, and John and I are doing a workshop there on Exit and Build. So if you want to come out, you can get 10% off that event as well. It's Live Free 10, and that's called Confluence. But anyway, this is going to be a farm tour at Sovereignty Ranch for either you can go for the day and it includes a meal, or if you want to stay the night, we're working on a way to book out. She has 30 different cabins on the property, and we're trying to figure out if we could get a group bus to go out there through our friends at Eco Village Tours. So we're seeing if that's going to work out. But if not, the Sovereignty Ranch, the Sovereignty Ranch, the scope of the land, it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around because it's like 200 acres, like a lot of land, and they have so many greenhouses. Just the food production's insane. Like they have livestock, they have a restaurant on site. She's starting up a microbrewery. So like this is really cool how they've built everything.
They're really
out.
doing it.
Yeah, and there's a magnesium soaking pond, which I think will be really restful and rejuvenating after the Land Summit, after the conference, to have that. It's going to be like a day trip, so it'll be really fun. It is like a 2.5-hour drive from the Bastrop Convention Center, but it's well worth the drive. You can even tent and camp out overnight. So we're going to put all the information about the farm tours up on the website. So yeah, just to reiterate, Thursday will be more local farms. You can see those are like smaller scale farms, 20 acres, like smaller, less land. One of them is 100 acres, but this one is a little further out, but a lot of production going. And they built this out like within like a year or two. Like she just moved there a few months ago full time and fled from California. So I know a lot of folks can relate to that. And you may have seen the documentary Kiss the Ground. If you haven't yet, that's a really cool documentary. But Molly is on the board of Kiss the Ground, and you can see her clip kind of speaking about the farm that she actually had to leave behind in California because of all the draconian policies that were implemented there, and just the cost of living and everything. You know, California is just nuts right now. So we're happy that she was able to relocate here to Texas. But in the documentary, you would see, you know, the impressive operation that she and her family left behind in California. And if you want to see the new operation here in Texas, you're invited to come out to Sovereignty Ranch on Monday, May 20th, for the immersive farm tour that we're going to be hosting for all of the Exit and Build Land Summit attendees.
Excellent. So yeah, the event is all about exiting big cities, exiting authoritarian regimes, and moving out to the country, just as Molly did. She's the perfect example.
Yep.
She was already doing the homestead, life, but in a very onerous, burdensome political jurisdiction. So we are helping to facilitate that transition. And the event isn't just for people that are living in the suburbs or living in the city. We do actually have this cool thing. This was our good friend Patrick, who does a lot of copywriting for us. So the event's for folks that don't have land, that do have land, or maybe they already have land and have built a community. So if you don't have land, we'll teach you how to buy land, whether by yourself or with other people. We'll teach you how to join an existing intentional community. So maybe you want to skip the headache. You're like, I got it. I got to live with other people. I recognize that people are so important with all the crazy stuff going in the world. But I don't want to buy land. I don't have the money to buy land. I don't want to go through the hassle. We'll link you up. There's going to be a variety of different existing communities that are like-minded and care about freedom just like we do. That'll be there on site. And maybe they're looking for a new member, and maybe you're that member. Let's say that you do have land, even a half an acre. We'll teach you how to start and expand your projects, how to monetize your projects, turn your projects into products. If you want to have people live on your property like Rebecca and I do, we'll teach you how to build an intentional community. Or we'll at least connect you with other people in your area. And then finally, let's say that you already have land and community, you're living the dream. We'll show you how to grow more food, become more self-sufficient, and expand your community, take things to the next level. So that's this whole exit and build concept. It's all about exiting the cities, building community in the country. If you care about freedom, if you see what's going on in the world, back to what I was sharing earlier, right? So many of us get what's going on, but we're stuck in the conspiracy research identity, and that's all we ever do is learn more about how the world is trying to enslave us. Well, we're trying to encourage, help, and empower people so they can actually be proactive, not just reactive, not complaining, not seeing conspiracy everywhere they look and at every single person they look at. Rather, taking control of their lives, becoming independent, and building rich, reciprocal, tight-knit communities out in the country where we can actually experience true freedom in spite of all that's going down in the smart cities and with the New World Order. That is our mission, and we are here to help you achieve that mission in your life.
Yep. And definitely the time is now in terms of what's happening in the world. And, I understand why people are so absorbed in the conspiracy, trying to make sense of all the chaos and all of the maybe black darkness, right? But what will help us to get out of that is to kind of be the light, turn on the light, and really find those solutions and to embark upon that journey instead, so that our focus is more productive. And that's what I like about the Exit and Build Land Summit, is that when we're all there together and networking and cultivating those relationships, it helps to kind of have that hive mind and that like future forward, like, okay, we get the problem, like what we're leaving behind, but let's go build the new earth. And doing it with others and seeing others who are already doing it, maybe it helps to kind of like cut through any challenges that they had to overcome in order to get there. And you can kind of like, shortcut to living that lifestyle and not, maybe making those same mistakes, because like John and I were saying on our homestead, it's been a learning curve. I mean, you don't just like buy land and then it's like, okay, we're done. Like that's when the journey and the hardship really begins. But if you have other folks that you like to jam with and, who can help to steward the land, it definitely helps to make the process a little bit of a lighter load. And I'm excited too that we're going to have a few different representatives from various eco-villages and communities who are actually sharing like, hey, here's what we're doing, here's how we've developed out our land, here's how many residential lots there are, here's how we're stewarding the farming operation in the land, and here's how we're building out amenities or a co-working space or whatever. Like for instance, Marat from the Ark, which is a eco-village in Costa Rica, they've sold a few lots, they're just getting off the ground, it's fairly new, but he has a really amazing site plan, and they have already started the last few years on the permaculture and regenerative farming aspect. And I was actually able to visit the property and meet him, and the story that he was telling and getting called to the land and how many people have already invested in the property. I think they've sold like 14 lots and they have like 80 in the site plan. So it's a pretty impressive project, and it's like minutes from the beach. Just so cool how he's had this vision, and like, within 2 years, it's already starting to like get that momentum and everything. So he'll be traveling here to share about that project. And, having folks present these communities that already are in the formation process and already exist. Some people don't want to buy the land. They want to have the land's already been, developed or like built out. So seeing those opportunities is important. And we're also going to have Mike Cobb, who many of you have probably seen him present before with ECI development. We've worked with him in a variety of different projects. For instance, our teak investment webinars have always been a hit, but he also has all these different eco-villages and intentional communities that exist in Central America, and it's like, spoon-fed, like, hey, it's already here, it's already off the ground. Oh, you want to be in a tiny home community? Guess what? Here it is, like you can see, oh, do I want to be in Belize? Do I want to be in Costa Rica? And like all the different options. So he'll be sharing as well about those different opportunities. And so you don't think that you have to like start from scratch and buy raw land and like figure out what kind of home you're going to build and all this. Like there's so many different options, and our intention is to present all those options to folks who attend and tune into the live stream, so that it's like easier to see what resonates with you and like what feels right for you and where you would want to move. And do you want to start the private membership association, or do you want it to be, set up a different way, like a ministry or a nonprofit or a LLC or whatever? We'll kind of be touching on all these different options, and not just buying the land and acquiring it or joining an existing community, but just understanding all the options to live this lifestyle and ways that people have done it already and have pulled it off successfully. So we'll focus a lot on that, growing your own food. And then, of course, we'll hear from some really awesome speakers, like virtually David Holmgren, the co-founder of Permaculture, will be joining us. And he's even going to be chatting about ways to just retrofit your existing house into something that could work, or getting away from the city and how you can make, small changes to live this lifestyle, or what that process, looks like realistically, just to kind of dive in head first and not, think it has to be some far out, goal in the future, but just like, what can you do today to start working toward exiting and building?
Excellent. And so this is the actual conference. So somebody was asking if we can buy virtual. So we will make the virtual tickets available for you to watch later. The first part of it will be free, but if you want to get the immersive, if you want to get access to the replays, we'll have those available here sooner than later. Right now, we're just really encouraging folks to join us. I mean, look at these. Look how much fun people are having. It's such an awesome community, and we're just really grateful and honored that we get to facilitate these connections. So if you really want to kickstart and have a fire lit under your butt. Not only, this is a Freedom Cell workshop that we did here, which is pretty cool. Not only are we going to teach you the tactics and the strategies, there's Marjorie Wildcraft, that you need in order to pull this off, but more importantly, I think, we will help to motivate you. Because a lot of people, they recognize we gotta get out of the city. I totally get it, John. You don't have to sell me on the importance of getting out to the country and leaving the smart city. I see it being built all around me every single day. But then I ask them, like, okay, well, why haven't you done it? And I tell you what, I hear all the objections. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to do it with. I don't have the money is a big one, which is why this is actually a workshop with me, Jack Spirko, and Nicole Sauce, teaching you how to make more money. But ultimately, I think the biggest hindrance and the biggest obstacle is that we don't believe in ourselves. And we have these limiting beliefs and self-imposed obstacles that are holding us back. So I want to encourage you to join us. But hey, there's Joel right there. Look, the VIPs get to sit there and schmooze with Joel. This is our good friend David Faber. He's come to almost every land summit.
And his wife Gina.
And his lovely wife Gina. So there's Paul Wheaton, another big permaculture figure. We had Paul Wheaton, we got David Holmgren, and we had Jeff Lawton. So permaculture is definitely a big piece of what it is that we're doing. So, but I want to warn you, do not come to the event unless you are prepared to actually make this life a reality, because I guarantee you, just as we've been discovering as we're trying to invite past attendees to come back, and they're like, hey man, I got the medicine that I needed. I got to work on the ranch. I got goats and chickens and gardens to take care of. I can't come down to Bastrop. So if you're somebody that wants to do this, but you haven't been able to muster up the ability to do it for one reason or another, then you are the perfect person to attend. But again, I'm warning you, be careful, because if you come, you're going to be so motivated. You're actually going to make this happen. And sometimes be careful what you wish for.
Like, look at Adam's comment.
What do we got here? Mr. Adam coming at us. Adam says, thanks for all the comments and participation, guys. Really appreciate y'all. And I do want to encourage you guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the old YouTube channel so we can stay in touch. Hit that little notification bar as well. Adam says, went last year and wanted to go this year, but we are too busy buying and transitioning from Midland to a 40-acre ranch near Jasper, Texas. There you go.
Hey, Adam, congratulations.
Congrats, Adam. Yeah, he was saying that just as I was going on that spiel. So there you have it, folks. We really are helping people to get the tips and the tools and the knowledge, and more importantly, the community and the motivation to make this happen. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. It's been real. This is the Live Free Now show, bringing you the news, views, tips, and tools you can use to live a free, prosperous, and healthy life. My lovely wife, Rebecca, will be interviewing Nicole Sauce, the one, the only. She's another presenter. In fact, she spoke at every single one. There's a few people that spoke at every single one.
Nicole, Jack, they're always...
Cynthia.
Yeah, Cynthia too for the...
So we always have new folks, but we got some
matchmaking.
recurring faces as well that really just know the message and I think provide some solid insights. So Rebecca will be live on this channel, on her own channel. Check out livefreenow.show if you want to join the podcast. And again, we're doing this free Bitcoin webinar. I hope that you guys will check that out. livefree.academy/Bitcoin webinar. livefree.academy/Bitcoin webinar. And then don't forget, you can get your pre-sale tickets for the Exit and Build Land Summit on sharp discount, livefree.academy or exitandbuildlandsummit.com.
We have some booths also. If you want to have a booth at the Land Summit, like last year we had artisan goods, jewelry making, like artists, food producers, and then, you know, of course there's the front facing tables that have more like for sponsors and stuff. Like, for instance, we had Texas Ready Seeds are coming back, some communities featured. So if you want to have a booth to actually be an exhibitor, to talk to people, there are still a few tables available on the side area for the conference. And then I think there's like 2 in the front area, and Ryan is leading the charge on getting those. So if you would like to have a space and kind of have an opportunity to speak with people face to face and promote your product or your offerings or really anything, we'll see if it's a good fit, and you can chit chat with Ryan. He's his email's Ryan@livefree.academy, but if you reach out to I think on a Telegram channel or whatever. We'll just make sure that we find you, and there's a survey form you can fill out. But yeah, that would be cool too, because we're always looking for innovative products and folks who are aligned that want to have their offerings promoted and, featured in person at the event.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.